the host of Aaron's Hour, Aaron Phillips.
Wow, that voice.
Hey, you don't look anything like Aaron Phillips.
I don't think so either, but the announcer.
Who are you and what are you doing here?
The announcer sounded like somebody I know. But yeah, as you can see, it's Aaron's Hour. Where in the hell is Aaron? Well,
He couldn't make bail.
That's right. It's not the same. We use that line every time I guest host this show.
Yes. Yep.
He couldn't make bail. I think he's in a jail in Reno.
Yep.
That's where he's at. He's in Reno. So if you guys are all confused, don't worry about it. You know me. I'm the mouth from the round table, hanging out, guest hosting for Aaron. And John, he'll open his mouth as we go along. But just a few minutes before we went on the air, I brought up a little idea to John. I said, hey, John, he asked me if we had anything to discuss or talk about. I said, no, not really. I didn't really have much of anything. But then I came up with an idea just a couple of minutes ago. Why not do odd, bizarre, and incredibly weird news stories from around the world?
Yeah!
Change it up a little bit. All the stuff that we see on the news, it's always about new legislation, climate change, social media fiascos, celebrity gossip and headlines. Why not just take weird stories from around the world that can slip through the cracks? A lot of them do. So we're going to spend the next hour just finding these weird-ass news stories and talking about them. You guys are certainly welcome to call us, text us. Let us know how you feel about any particular subject that we talk about. You know where we're at. And if not, John will tell you the number to call because I can't see shit from here. Even with these glasses on, I can't see anything. You would think I have the phone number memorized, but
it's on the screen.
Yes, it is. It's on the screen. So here we go. We're going to start. Might as well just dive right into it.
Jump in.
Which story were we talking about just before we went on the air? It was about
the bears.
Yeah, the bears in China. If you guys have seen that video, it was a zoo and this weird-looking bear. And they actually had a name for it. I thought, okay, it might be one of those a bear. There are a species of bear that I never heard of. But he got on his hind legs like a human, and he was growling at the people at the zoo that were there. He was in his little pit with all the rocks and stuff. I don't know if you saw it, John. Did you see that video?
Yes, I did.
Was it a bear or was it a human? Of course.
I can see where they could say that it was a human in a bear costume.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But again, it was in China, so you never know what the hell the truth is. But it could be some Chinese bear. Who knows?
It's a sun bear from Malaysia.
Okay.
And it says they're smaller than other bears and look different, but are the real thing. At least that's what the zoo said.
Right.
And then it says, some people think I stand like a person, said the posting written from the bear's point of view. It seems you don't understand me very well yet. So that bear is obviously married, right?
There you go. Well, I saw a couple of them in the background, so maybe one was his old lady. But again, I don't know. Did anybody ever look it up to see if there was a sun bear and some photos of a sun bear that might make it that it might possibly be true? Because, yeah, when I saw the video, it looked like it could have been a human inside. But again, China says it wasn't, so what do you do? But while John's looking that up, there's all kinds of crazy stuff, guys. I mean, you've got stories of, how about this, being on an airplane on the tarmac in Iran, and I guess they had animals that were underneath the airplane, speaking of bears, and I guess a bear broke out of its cage on a fucking airplane in the cargo area. How would you deal with that if you're on the tarmac, stuck on a plane for 2 or 3 hours while they're trying to lock up a bear that was underneath the cargo area? All these bear stories, pretty crazy if you ask me. But we've got a lot of stuff going on. Feel free again to get a hold of us. We're going to be talking about all kinds of crazy stuff, including a 26-year-old soccer player that jumped into a river with a bunch of crocodiles because he was too hot and wanted to cool off. What kind of shit is that? Really? I mean, would you jump in a river with crocodiles to cool off?
I ain't real smart, but I could kick the ball.
Right. So would you find out anything about the bear? Do the sun bears?
As a matter of fact, okay, so this is on Wikipedia or someplace like that.
Right.
It says the sun bear is a species in the family Ursidae occurring in the tropical forests of Southeast Asia. It's the smallest bear standing, nearly 70 centimeters at the shoulder and weighing 25 to 65 kilograms. It is stockily built with large paws, strongly curved claws, small rounded ears, and a short snout.
Huh.
And that's all it says about that.
Wow, sounds like they're describing Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. What else do they got out there? Got all these crazy strange zoos. Did you see that where the roller coaster where the people were stranded upside down for like
Again?
2 or 3? Yeah,
Oh,
it happened
wow.
again.
Where at?
I think it was, where was it? Back East Maryland or something like that. Some theme park. Can you imagine being stuck upside down for 2 or 3 hours?
Yeah, that can't be very healthy.
Wow, no, not at all. But yeah, we're just hanging out here on Saturday, just hanging out, and got all kinds of stuff here. What else have we got? Anything else that you have inkling to talk about,
What
John?
about that snake and the hawk? I thought that was.
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
The lady mowing her lawn.
Yeah.
So what was the deal? The actual deal? The snake?
So,
They said it just fell out of the sky.
They think that possibly the hawk had the snake and dropped it, and it fell on this woman's arm, wrapped itself around her arm, and the hawk came down to try to get the snake back, and I guess messed up her arm pretty good trying to,
Oh my God! What are the odds of that? 1 in a million, something like that happening?
Yeah, really.
That's crazy. I don't understand how that stuff. That's just mind-boggling. I
Yeah.
don't know what I would be doing if I was mowing the lawn and saw that. And I guess the snake was wrapping around the arm for protection.
Yeah.
So because knew that the hawk was going to come back and try and get him.
Yeah. Well, if I was that woman, I'd go buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah. Speaking of that,
Speaking of the odds.
yeah, we saw that the other day. 1.5 billion.
Yeah.
Somebody won it. They haven't come out yet. I think it was in Florida, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Wow. Yeah, we talked about that the other day.
Yeah, the winner's going to use it for their legal defense.
Right. It's still 300 million even after they take everything.
Yeah, I think it was 433 million after.
After everything.
So what? That's a lot of money, man.
Man, that's crazy. How life would be different with that.
Oh yeah.
So, what about anything local in Vegas? Anything local in Vegas? The F1 race, they're tearing up the streets, repaving them all.
Yeah. When is that race?
It's November. I think it's like they're going to try and coincide like a week or two before Thanksgiving. And the Spheres opens up in October. So, in the F1's actually going to go through the property of the Sphere. It's the only part of the track that's actually going to go through private property.
That Sphere is something else. Have you seen it at all?
Have you? I've only on TV. I've driven by. I mean, I've driven by it during the day when
Right.
it wasn't when it wasn't on. It
But
was.
it's amazing what they're doing with that.
Have you seen the eyeball?
Yeah.
They showed a picture.
That's so cool.
I like the Earth, the moon,
How'd
and the
you like
eyeball.
to be landing on a plane in Vegas, coming in on a
See
Thursday night and looking down and seeing that big giant eyeball
Looking at you like, what the? No, that it is crazy. Somebody posted their profile pic on Facebook with the scene of the city with the eyeball,
Right.
and you're like thinking you would think it was photoshopped if you didn't know
Right.
that it's actually true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty freaky, and that's probably the hottest ticket in town right now. It's going to be,
Yeah. When are they opening? Do you know? Or
Well, the Sphere, I think September 29th is
Okay.
U2, which is a
Right.
whole nother. Why of all the performers in the world, you got U2 for 9 or 10 days.
Right.
I don't understand how they pick that kind of thing. But hey, it's going to be the hottest ticket for a while. And,
yeah.
they're going to have concerts there and they're going to have all kinds of crazy. Have you seen the jack-o'-lantern for Halloween? They
Yeah.
had that up. It's going to be pretty cool to see every holiday
Yeah,
and stuff.
they've done the globe, they've done the eye, they've got jack-o'-lantern, they've got half a dozen different.
Well, I like the Earth because they
Yeah.
say when the Earth that's spinning,
Yeah.
it's actually in real time. All the lights that you see from a satellite up in space or something like
That's
that.
cool.
It is. It's pretty awesome. If you guys haven't been to Vegas, and wait till you see this Sphere with all the great LED lights and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we're just going to talk about anything weird, anything that we see. And if you guys, again, if you see anything, please call us in or text us and let us know what you want to talk about, if anything. And What else we got? We got all kinds of. What else we got? What crazy shit do we have out here? I'm trying to find out what's going on here. The internet's not doing so hot over here for me. Let's see here. Funny breaking news stories, odd stories, oddities, weird stuff. How about the snake in the toilet? I mean, you hear about that.
Yeah.
You hear about that stuff all the time,
Yeah.
though. Imagine taking a number 2 and all of a sudden you feel something crawling up your butt while you're trying to wipe it. Oh my God, that would be horrible. But yeah, here it is. Delayed passengers growl after a bear escapes from a crate in cargo hold of an Iraqi plane in Dubai. That shit never happens in the U.S. Why does that shit always happen overseas somewhere?
I don't know.
Iraqi's prime minister has ordered an investigation into how a bear escaped from its crate in the cargo hold of an Iraqi aircraft as it was due to depart from Dubai. And the passengers, of course, were disgruntled because then there was a delay. They had to take everybody off the airplane and find out why the bear escaped. Did you ever see that movie? What movie was it where it was with the gorilla? It was on the train. And these two fumbling guys were in the cargo hold. They were supposed to deliver a bear. And there was a Halloween party. And a guy was dressed as a bear. He was an asshole. So they took the guy that was dressed as a bear and put him in the cage with the real bear. And by the end of the trip, the real bear was in love with the fake bear. The fake bear couldn't get out of the cage. He was all, oh, it was hilarious. So a lot of bear stories.
Okay, I got a list here of 10 weird habits people have but don't admit to.
And?
You want to hear that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, all right, here we go. All right, number 1, getting completely naked to poop.
Well, I mean, if you're, what do you mean, like in a public restroom or something?
Anywhere.
Well, if you're at home, that's
Yeah.
not a big deal.
Okay, so here's the
Have you ever pooped naked?
Well, yeah, but I was already naked.
Right,
I
it was at
didn't get
home.
naked to poop.
Right, yeah. You just pull your pants down and sit on the
Yeah.
toilet. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, I mean,
Okay.
it's not that's not
This
weird.
next one is pillow burying. I don't know what the hell that is. Let's see.
Burying pillows,
Yeah.
or a woman
We-
burying.
We have a soft spot for pillows. There's nothing like your face hitting one after a long, hard day. But some folks take their love for pillows to a whole new level. Although to some people this might sound like the perfect claustrophobic nightmare, others actually have a thing about entirely covering themselves with pillows, either while lying in bed or watching TV.
So they have like 20 or 30 pillows in their bed, and they're all covered up in
Yeah.
it. Well, I mean, I don't know, but that's
Oh,
That
here's
does weird.
This is a good one. This is a good one. I think half the drivers in Las Vegas do this. Sleep driving. Okay, so sleepwalking or sleep eating is not exactly something to raise your eyebrows at. But how about sleep driving? Taking the meaning of going for a night drive to a whole other level. Some people actually get up, take their car for a ride, return, hop back into bed, and remember nothing of it.
really
A strange and risky habit indeed.
very.
Yeah.
How do you stop that if you're asleep and you don't know it?
Yeah. Well, how do you know that you've done it?
Right. If you
Let somebody tell you. Yeah.
so how do they even know so how do they even know about the whole subject in general if you don't know your
I'm sure cops have pulled people over.
and they didn't know and they were asleep? And can you imagine that? Please get out of the car, please. Can you imagine all that kind of stuff? What else? What else is on the list?
Hang on here. We got another one here. Eating the unthinkable.
And
Fancy eating the foam out of your pillow, or perhaps a spot of cleaning sponge with a side of toilet paper. How about some good old-fashioned mud, a wedge of brick, or a chunk of wood? Unbelievably, some people would rather chow down on these oddities as opposed to tonight's dinner. A tradition otherwise known as pica, that's P-I-C-A.
Huh.
This strange condition where people eat non-food items of no tradition or no nutritional value is increasing. And they're not even pregnant.
Why is that? I don't understand something weird that people wouldn't admit. I've never met anybody that has eaten wood or mud.
Huh.
Huh.
All right, how about this one? Blow drying down there. Truth be told, it's not just a strange whim of certain celebrities that have a habit of blow drying their nether regions to make sure their lady gardens and so forth are bone dry after a shower. Although there is a large logical argument for doing this, in that it is claimed to prevent yeast infections. For some, it's purely about the comforting caress of warm air down there. No towel needed.
Huh. Doesn't sound that weird.
No,
Not that
I
I've
know,
ever
I
taken a blow dryer to my nether regions,
Yeah.
but it's like taking your a blow dryer to your underarms. Well, if
Yeah.
you have hair and you want to dry it up real quick, I don't see anything weird about that. But the nether regions, I don't know.
I don't know. That's just a weird people there.
What else you got?
Let's see. Weird habits. Oh, okay. Here we go. Weird habits. People are sharing habits they thought were normal until their partner saw them. Being in a relationship can be a beautiful thing. It can teach you a lot about the world and about life. But most importantly, it can really help you learn about yourself. Okay, so when another person is around all the time, they're privy to the habits and behaviors you thought were completely normal until there was someone around to see them.
Right.
Okay, my husband, here's a list, okay? My husband microwaves his ice cream to make it soupy.
Ugh. Now that's
Here's
nasty.
another one.
Just leave it out on the counter.
Yeah, I only eat the tops of muffins. It makes my husband crazy because somebody else needs to eat the rest of the muffin.
What's the tip? Well, I would go there. I'll eat your muffin, honey. I'll eat your muffin.
Blowing into a cup or glass when you first get it out of the cupboard. It's a habit. I've had it since I was very little.
What, like blowing you know what we do?
Yeah, just like...
Well, yeah, that doesn't seem weird. I mean, we put most of our time, we put the cups upside down. That way nothing can collect, in the glass. It's like rinsing it out when you get it out of the cupboard. I mean, I do that too sometimes, I'll do that. So. Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
What's the fascination with the Barbie movie? It's done over $1 billion in like 4 or 5 weeks. What's the and I've heard a lot of people go that it embosses women empowerment. But I'm not sure. I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know. But
from some of the things that I've read, a lot of people getting pissed off at the movie too. And basically, some of the reviews that I've read have said that the reason that some guys are getting upset is because they have reversed the male-female roles in the movie. And where the female is the strong leading character and the male is like the subservient type thing.
Right.
I mean, that's oversimplifying what they're saying, but it's like the men in the movie are being treated the way men treat women
in society.
Right.
Well, it's also a female director.
Right.
Now, again, you brought up an issue just with the movie. The movie brought up the issue, basically. I saw a couple of videos online, and they were women.
Right.
They were talking about how unfair it is, and they were siding with the male species of how this world expects, today's world of women's empowerment, and women can go out and work and have a family and raise children and do all this stuff just like a man can, blah, blah, blah. But yet, there's women out there, maybe older women, that still feel that it's a man's duty or job to, when you get married, to take care of the wife. She stays at home, bakes cookies. But how many women have you met today that can't stand it when you say, go make me a sandwich? And tell you, but you can't have both. In today's world, you can't have both. Either you're a successful woman going out there, raising children, you're married, and all that kind of stuff, but yet they're trying to, I saw some videos where women are actually, it's not fair to a man in today's world that we expect everything to be, the man has to go out and work, the man has to pay the bills, but yet women still want the empowerment to be able to go out and do what they want. Well, that's fine. But how can you expect, the role reversal now in this movie now that the woman is empowered, she's the one that makes the decisions, and it's a movie, though, for Christ's sake. But I heard there was a lot of social innuendos and stuff in the movie itself. I mean, there was too much pink for me. I'd have to go watch it with sunglasses, and I'll have to tell you the truth. Most of the men, I went and saw a movie 3 or 4 weeks ago, The Sound of Freedom. I think it was almost the weekend that Barbie opened.
Right.
And some of the men that were in line, not all of them, but some of the men that were there to see this movie seemed like they were the same men that were being portrayed in the movie as being less male, less strong, less, they were dressed in pink and they had glitter on, and it's like the society's.
They were standing in line to watch.
Yeah, to go to right.
Oh, okay.
And it's like in today's society.
Why were they wearing pink if they're going to watch the down?
Well, no, but yeah, when I was in the theater, all these men that were males that were in the movie, and they're trying to. You hear a lot of people in today's world talk about how they're trying to feminize the male to make him less manly or less strong mentally and physically, and you start to see a lot of that. I don't know the men about your family, your parents, your father and grandfather, how they would feel about the defeminization of men today. That's how they're looking at it today. And that movie is one of the things that's bringing that out now.
Do you know what happened in 1967?
Well, it depends if Vietnam.
In 1967, women were finally allowed to get a credit card or get credit in their own name without their husband's or father's signature.
Okay, and that's fine with me.
But I'm saying that was 1967.
Yeah, that's not that long ago, technically, 60 years ago, not even. Yeah, 55 years ago. Well, again, everybody should have the right to do what they want, but again, you don't have to take away from one sex from another their abilities or what they were supposed to do. But again, what the women were saying in the video is that it's not fair to men to have to be fully responsible for a female's life. Especially in today's world when women have the ability to go out and make their own money and make their own decisions, and they're more independent. Some women, they don't even need a man now.
Well, okay. So let's talk about my grandfather and my great grandfather. Right?
Okay.
All right. So they were basically farmers, right? So there really wasn't an opportunity for a woman to go out and work outside the home. That was what they did.
The way it was,
yeah.
Right?
And I've got aunts and uncles, and the women all took care of the house, and my uncles they all went out and worked the farm, and that was socially the only choice. Yeah. The only choices that you had, and as our society progressed and we became more and more of an urban
society,
right? Then women were given more choices. And a lot of times when people don't like change, people are scared shitless of change.
Right.
They don't like change at all. And so they feel threatened when things start changing around them that's not what my father did. That's not what my grandfather did. Well, your father and your grandfather aren't living in today's world. They're living in yesterday's world.
But change is not always for the better.
No. But change is inevitable.
Right.
Change is going to happen every single day. And you can either adapt to it and take advantage of it, or you can fight it and get all freaked out. So.
Well, in my case, my mother was a doctor, Holocaust survivor, went through some stuff. Her mother, my grandmother on her, was a camp doctor. And that's somehow they were able to get through that time period because of that. They were able to get out of there alive and come to America. I've been around successful women my whole life, so it never bothered me. That's probably why I waited so long before I got married. I like independent women, yet that still want a relationship and be with someone that still, we all need love and physical and sexual attraction and want to be with somebody. But being needy is different than, today's women, they can go out and have their jobs and lives and all that stuff, but I don't think a man has to take care. Like you said, change is change. I don't think men have to be totally responsible for a relationship, financially, emotionally, physically, and all that stuff anymore. Men went to work.
The whole point is that you have the ability to choose whether or not you want to be in that kind of relationship.
Right. There's people out there that just
are you going to marry a woman that expects you that she expects to stay home and just you go out and work all day and blah blah blah? And if that's not the kind of relationship that you want, you don't have to go into that kind of relationship. And that works both ways from the woman's perspective as well.
And the funny thing is, for me, is why would anyone, male or female, or whatever, of the other 32 different choices there are, why would anyone want to just have someone take care of them and have their whole life dangled over? It's okay if that's something you want to do, but I want people around me to be successful, or at least to go out and, even if you're not successful, at least to have something that drives you, that something that you want to do with your life. You don't have to be dependent on someone else for your whole life. That's the whole thing. God forbid, back in your day or my day, whatever, there was men that took care of their lives and wives their whole life, and then they passed away, and the wife didn't even know how to write a check or pay the bill. That stuff bothers me a little bit.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we're going to take our first quick break. Again, give us a call if you have any weird stories. We're just talking about random shit, just like two guys sitting at the couch at home. So give us a call.
Can we say shit on this?
I don't know. I just did.
Yeah, I guess it's okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Aaron Tower?
Nobody shut us down. So.
Okay, so far so good? Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery. I've gotta have it.
So colorful.
I can't live without it. You'll find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery.
All right, that was quick. We're back, and we've got all kinds of crazy stuff that we're going to talk about. Real quick, the Barbie movie. We were discussing male and female's place in society. What's the deal with the color pink? Do you have any pink wardrobe in your closet, John? Or are you one of those guys, manly men, that couldn't wear pink?
I have a shirt that I think it's called Salmon.
Right. So it's like a pinkish with a little bit of orange type. Salmon. Pink, I had a pink.
I have a couple of Hawaiian shirts that have like pink flowers on them. Does that count?
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, it's not a big. I never looked at pink as being, now if you're head to toe pink, okay, maybe. But if you have a suit and you have an accent of a pink tie or a pink collar on your shirt, that stuff I can live with. Pink's never been.
Wait. Why does it matter?
Not to, why when you have when women got pregnant back in the day, it was either blue or pink.
Right.
Who decided the colors for that special moment in a couple's life when they had a child? It's a boy, it's blue.
The patriarchy.
Oh, right. But blue. I mean, why wasn't it some other color? Who decided blue and pink? I know pink is, women love the color pink, and it's associated with, I always thought that,
Don't say it.
Okay. All right. There we okay. You just told me not to, and I just stopped. So I was going to say it.
Yeah, if you're going to talk about the feline persuasion.
Right. The feline and pink. Okay. But I like the color pink. I'm not going to lie. I don't wear it that often. But, it's funny how the history of pink comes from the French. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, they invented the color pink back in the 17th century. I didn't know they were able to mix colors back then.Maybe artists did that. Maybe like, those artists, Rembrandt, all those guys back then, artists, and they discovered the color pink, and it was always associated with female. So I just don't know why the light blue came in. Blue, pink, any guy. It could have been black or silver. Or it could have been gray. It could have been brown. But
no, it couldn't be
blue.
Brown.
It could be or couldn't be.
Could not be.
Why?
Because that's a shitty color.
Oh God! How did I know that was coming? Okay, here's another one. Did you hear that Beetlejuice 2 is filming in Vermont?
I did hear that.
But it's not going to have. I think Michael Keaton. I think he's going to be in it, and I think Winona Ryder is going to be in it.
Yeah.
I don't know if Alec Baldwin or what's the actress's name that was in it?
Man.
Thelma and Louise. She was.
No. Gina Davis.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I think that those four are going to be in it again. But
That would be awesome.
yeah, but the remake, how long ago was that? 30 years ago now? Since long time. It's like Michael Keaton too. He was in Batman recently. I think the new Batman, he came back. I know that he was my favorite. I always tell people, well, who's your favorite Batman? I always thought Michael Keaton was my favorite Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he was the best Bruce Wayne.
He was.
Yeah.
And I don't know how Aaron feels about it because I know he's a big Batman guy.
Adam West.
But, well, I liked him too. That was the original TV Batman. And they don't even talk about
comic book Batman.
Right. But they also made a movie.
Yeah.
So they don't even really include him in the movie Batmans, even though they were the first. They did make a movie from that TV series. So, but yeah, Batman and Robin, it's great. I guess Michael Keaton though was going to be doing the Beetlejuice 2. I liked the first one.
Yeah.
You know, he got offered. I think he should have stayed at Batman. He did the first two. When they brought him back in '89, Chris Nolan was the director. They offered him $15 to $20 million for Batman 3, the third one, the third installment, and he refused. I don't know if he just was afraid to get tight.
Every one of the Batman has. I've heard that comment that one of the reasons that they didn't want to continue was because of the fucking costume.
What do you mean? It's just so hard to get into, or
hard
just
to get into, uncomfortable, hard to get out of. It made everything 10 times harder to do, and they just didn't feel the money was worth it.
A franchise like that, they've gone through plenty of bad. What's Ben Affleck, George Clooney, who was the worst one, Christian Bale, which was the darkest,
Right.
which I liked. I like Christian Bale, but it started out as a comedy with Adam West, kind of like the Cape Crusader.
It was a comic book.
Right.
You know, that's what their whole
So,
concept was.
I don't know about Batman now, but you got all the remakes of these films. Hollywood, that's another thing with the strike going on. How come these guys can't make new films? I know a lot of directors and aspiring actors here in town that have great writing, screenplays. And yeah, it's all about the money.
No, I'll tell you why. And I just read an article about that, and it was that there are some phenomenal writers out there. There's this guy. He was a script. He read script. for a
Okay,
living.
right?
And he said the reason that you never see any of this new shit is the studios don't want that. They want the same shit over and over and over again that's made them money. And unless there's somebody that's out there that takes a chance, on a new writer or a new concept for a movie, they're never going to get made. And he's saying there is a huge amount of talent out there, and I think that's one of the reasons that these studios find the AI so attractive, because they can give them a formula and write the same movie over and over and over again.
There's more to movies and stuff than the DC Comics or Marvel.
Right.
I'm sick of that stuff. I never liked those kind of movies anyway. Some are okay. I love the serious movies are gone. They don't have any, I guess they're dumbing down the audience, the moviegoer too. We all like explosions and the visual part. But movies that make you think.
Fast and Furious 10 now?
Yeah, stop. I mean, when are you going to... Does that stuff ever... Yeah, we all like car chases and explosions, but how far can you keep taking the script? And how far can Fast and Furious 20?
Yeah.
I mean, how far can you... What about serious films that make you think? But they're not boring films. I know Hollywood thinks that they are. It doesn't always have to be explosions and fancy lights and all this crazy stuff to have... I work with a lot of great Christian film directors, and that's a direction where Hollywood is starting to go. Because if you haven't seen the movie Sound of Freedom yet, you got to go see it.
Right.
Not just and people try to politicize the topic. It's about child sex trafficking. There shouldn't be anybody on planet Earth that agrees with that, regardless of what political affiliation you have. It's child sex trafficking, and it's a serious movie.
Yeah,
It was a true story, and it was good.
Everyone that I've talked to that has seen it just raved about it.
Yeah.
I
And-
haven't heard any political shit about it.
Well, they always try to tie it in, QAnon or these far right guys or one of those that made the movie. No, and even if it was, that's not what they're discussing. Not one time did the word politics or left or right come up in the movie. It was about the kids. But I like serious films like that. You can't keep just rehashing over. They want to make a remake of the TV series Green Acres. Get out of here. First of all, the TV series was as stupid as you could possibly get. Ava Gabor. And I liked, what was his name? The guy, the actor, Ed.
Arnold.
Yeah, he'd been around a long time. And yeah, they're dumbing down the TV and the movie viewer with that kind of stuff. It's okay in little spurts. Then they got all this other stuff, the Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, Ocean's 13. Stop, man. Find some new material. There's plenty of directors and actors out there in Hollywood right now or here in Las Vegas that have great ideas and great films.
Yeah.
I've got a couple directors I work with that talk about social issues. Their films are about drug addiction, alcohol, spousal abuse, that kind of stuff, kid abuse, that kind of thing. Real serious topics that a lot of moviegoers, they want to see that stuff.
Yeah.
They're getting tired of the same rehash over and over and over. And Hollywood wonders why, these big executives are wondering why all the strikes and all that shit. But they don't care, because I was telling a guy the other day, I worked on Penn and Teller all week as a seat filler.
Yeah.
They have the crowd that pays, or they get the tickets. They go in and they seat them, and any seats that are empty, they hire us.
Did you see Nicole?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Every day for about 3 days. Yeah. I bumped
And I
into.
love Penn and Teller.
They're fantastic.
They are.
They're
I have to tell you, and Teller, he's the short one that doesn't talk.
right.
All right.
Although I actually heard him say something the other day. I almost fell over.
I've had a number
He
of
talks.
conversations with him. I was working for a construction company, and we were expanding an assisted care living facility here in town.
Okay.
And his parents, both his mother and father, were in that facility.
Oh, no shit here.
He came there every single morning and visited with them for 3 to 4 hours every single day. And but the second day or third day I saw him there, and he motioned me over, and I went over, and he goes, he's sitting there on the bench with his dad, and he goes, my dad was an engineer. No, he said, I just want to let you know, my dad was an engineer, and he's watching what you're doing to make sure you do it right. And I cracked up. But he was, just a very, very nice guy. And every single day for months that I was there working, he was there. And to me, that said more about anything that, he could have shuffled them off
But
he couldn't take care of himself. So he put him in a facility. It was a nice facility.
How long ago was this? Because he's 75 now.
15
Okay.
20 years ago.
Is he? He couldn't be. He's not from here, is he? I don't think he's from here. When he became successful and had his show here, he moved his parents out.
Yeah,
Probably.
could be. But
Yeah.
anyway, but like I said, that was and it was, I never got the impression when I saw him and interacting with his parents that he was there like, this is a pain in the ass.
Right. No, he was
really
there.
Wanted to be there, and that just, to me, that was just like,
It's funny.
he's one of the good ones.
Penn and Teller, they've been together 50 years, but yet they don't. And it's funny, they hang out
They
with
don't
each
hang
other.
out together.
They
No,
don't,
No,
which is weird. I mean, they're with each other all the time anyway,
that's
business-wise.
probably what makes it work.
Right,
Yeah.
because when they are done, they go their separate, live their separate life. Even though Penn said that Teller's part of the family with his children,
Right.
like a relative.
Sure.
But yet they have differences, and I don't know if Teller has children or married or anything at all, but
I don't know.
very private. Those guys are extremely private, but they're oh so funny.
Yeah.
And they are. I remember when they first started doing their magic, they were the first ones I remember that got away from the normal card tricks or the coin tricks, just
Right.
making them disappear. They would do weird shit. I remember there was one where Teller would have a painting, and he would paint a rose, and then when he would look, everybody would clap and look. And then all of a sudden, it would start to bleed, like out of nowhere. Like
Yeah.
and you're thinking, how the hell did he do that? And it would follow him wherever he wanted the
Right.
run of the paint to go. It would go.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, a lot of the magicians that they've got a show called Fool Us.
Yeah.
It's been on the air for like 10 years. I remember seeing it here and there over the years. Never watched it avidly, but I didn't know they were even in a 10th season. And
I love the old show that they did called Bullshit.
Oh yeah, that's a long time ago. But Brooke Burke's the new host of the show. You know who she is?
No.
Man, she's still good. She was on a show called Wild on E. It was on E Entertainment 20 years ago.
Right.
She's in her early 50s now. Looks fantastic.
Right.
A little skinny, but she's the new host now for this season. Some of the magicians that they have on that show, and the goal is for the magician can they fool Penn and Teller with their
Right.
tricks?
Right.
Now we're in the audience. I love magic. I don't know everything, and I know that they've probably know every trick in the book. But sometimes they would sit there. The magician does their routine. It's like usually one trick, 5, 6, 7 minutes.
Right.
Then they sit there and they go, "It was beautiful. It was awesome. I liked the way you did this, the way you pulled the blah blah blah, but you didn't fool us." And I was sitting there going, "Well, okay, well, tell us
Yeah.
why he didn't fool you." But then I kept thinking, "Well, wait a second. If they do that,
Right.
then they're giving away the
Yeah.
trick."
Yeah. And that's they're very good about that.
Right.
They'll give away their own stuff, but they won't give away other people.
Well, I guess some of the magicians over the years got kind of pissed off at him because they would tell their audience how they did their tricks.
Right.
Not the other guys, but theirs. And I guess magician's code is to never, ever.
Never reveal your.
Now, we all know that they have magicians, illusionists, whatever else they want to call them. But some of the stuff I saw the last 3 days were incredible. And you're like, how the hell? And part of it is a master of distraction.
Right.
But I try to analyze everything, so I don't even really get to enjoy the trick, but I'm always trying to dissect it.
Right.
Like how to sit
Watch
back.
his hands. Where's his
Right.
hands
What's he
going?
doing over there? Why
Right.
is he looking?
Yeah.
Why is he telling us to look over here? Because I'm looking to where he doesn't want us to look, and you still can't figure it out.
I'll tell you who has another good show in town. Come on, I know his name now.
Is it magician?
The Mentalist.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
There is a show now. My sister and my niece were here in June. There was a brand new show that opened up at Harrah's.
Okay.
We saw the first night. It was improv and hypnosis in the same show.
Wow.
It's at the Harrah's.
Right.
And one of the guys from Whose Line Is It Anyway, the older guy,
Right.
you know that Wayne Brady and his sidekick on Let's Make a Deal.
Right.
But the older guy is now at the Harrah's with this show. They bring up around 20 people from the audience, and they sit them in a row of chairs.
Right.
And then they go through this period of trying to hypnotize them and make them see who they eliminate people.
Right. Who's the most receptive?
Right. And in the end, you end up with they keep going. First it's 20, then it's 15, then it's 10, and then it's like the last 5.
Right.
And then they do a show. Eliminating them is part of the show in the
Right.
beginning. It takes like 20 minutes. Then the rest of the show is with the 5 that are left on there. And it was actually really, really good how they make them do stuff improv under hypnosis. And not your usual bark like a dog or
Right.
walk around like a chicken. Funny, real life stuff and making them sing. And some of these guys, you're like, holy shit, it's like undiscovered talent that's
Right.
up there.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 that were up there, they wanted me to go up and I wouldn't do it. I probably should have now in hindsight. I look back, probably should have gone up there and done it. Who knows if I'd have been eliminated right away or not. But improv's great. Hypnosis, I'm not so sure, man.
Right.
Have you ever been hypnotized? I've never.
No.
Nah. Do you ever something about it that you don't want to do, or have you
No,
ever?
I just some people can
Never-
be hypnotized, some can't. I used to hypnotize people, but I would.
And what did you go to do you have to go to school for that, or you just learn how
When I
to
was in college, and it was part of
a hypnosis class or
an
something?
experimental psychology class.
Uh-huh.
I majored in psych.
Okay.
So, and that one of the classes was we learned how to hypnotize people, and I just wasn't. I wasn't able to. They weren't able to hypnotize me, and I wasn't the only one. There was probably a third of the class.
No wonder you're a
I know.
psychology major.
Got it, man.
You have to be. So what? So
To
what
put up
makes
with you guys? Yeah.
right? So what makes it to get hypnotized? How do you
First
find?
of all, you have to be willing.
Okay,
Right?
that's
You have to be
yeah.
a willing subject, right? And
So you can't be hypnotized if you're unwilling.
that's correct.
Okay.
And so that's a fallacy that some people think that you just go like that and no, that's not it. And under hypnosis, you will not do anything that you wouldn't normally do in your life anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was all about it, trying
No.
to make someone do something that they would normally not do.
No.
Now they did say on
When-
stage
when-
too that you're
I mean to the extreme. In other words, yeah. So if they tell you
to jump
okay.
on one foot and act
Yeah.
like a
right. But if they said, I want you to beat the crap out of the person sitting next to you, now, if you wouldn't normally do that, you won't do it.
right.
So
Now they do say you're still conscious of
your
if you're on,
surroundings.
yeah, you can hear the people in the audience, or
Right.
you know that you're on a stage, but yet they still have enough.
It's kind of a, from what I understood when we were doing it was, it's almost like you're watching yourself, but not, you're there, but not really there.
Right.
You know?
That would be weird. For some reason I have this phobia of the hypnosis part. I don't know. Again, it's probably not how you think it is, but
It's not. And like I said, you're never gonna. Nope, they can't make you go out and kill yourself
or do something
like
stupid,
that.
jump
Right.
off the stage or
Right.
that kind of thing.
And where it does have benefits is a lot of weight loss programs or smoking cessation programs use hypnosis to help you, with your weight loss or your non-smoking or
Now what?
smoking.
Now what? Some of these guys just say, if you hear the word such and such, boom, you'll do whatever you were hypnotized under to do. I mean, I don't
Right.
know if that's true or not.
Yes,
If
it is up to a point. But like
Huh.
I said, you still have to be a willing participant.
Right,
So,
right. I would think you'd have to be too. But yeah, that's a good show too.
yeah.
So yeah, if I highly recommend that too at the Harrah's. It's a really, really good show. It's a combination of the word improv and hypnosis. I forgot the name of it, but you'll find that it's on the internet, Las Vegas shows, and it's
Okay.
really pretty good. So, oh yeah, another thing they're talking about is I just heard a kink in the stadium, the new one, the baseball team. The A's moving
A's.
here.
Yeah.
Can you imagine all the hell on Tropicana and the Boulevard if they start building that stadium? Even after it's built, it's going to be hell.
Yeah,
over
I don't.
there.
Yeah, I think that's a serious mistake. I mean, I'm all for having a major league team here, but there's so many other places, that would be more suitable for that kind of a stadium.
Right.
Why try to pack everything in one small area that's going to make it more and more difficult to access?
Well, it's amazing because you see Vegas and the valley that we live in. There's over 2 million people in where we live, but just that 4 mile. That strip, Las Vegas Boulevard, that 4 mile, actually longer if you count North Las Vegas, but they usually just count that
Right.
4 mile, like from Sahara south to Mandalay Bay, Russell, where Mandalay Bay is, that little corridor there.
Right.
They want to fit every freaking thing in the world right there in that area. And it's just, I don't know how that's going to work out 15, 20, 30 years from now, because this town's not going to stop growing
Now,
at all.
it's
So,
going to be insane.
yeah, it is now. So I don't understand how that's going to work out. Anything else that you see that you want to mouth off about, or
No, I'm
kind of,
yeah. Had some rain the other day.
yeah. How bored are we to talk about rain in Las Vegas? How about to see Michigan woman finds live frog in a package of spinach?
I saw that.
I don't know, just in today's world. I mean, yeah, I guess stuff like that happens. Finding a frog in a bag of spinach at a store, or they find bugs in a pack of, or like in bacon, they found maggots in a pack of bacon. All
But
that.
See, that to me, that's not that's not so far out or so weird. You know, I mean, a packet of bacon could be left out of the refrigeration and kind of start to spoil. And,
Right.
You know, so okay, so yeah, that's
Well, the good thing is she found it before she started making a salad, a
Yeah.
frog salad.
yeah.
Hey, you eat frog legs. Why not eat a frog? But, all right. Well, all right, guys, just text us if you want. We're here for another few minutes, hanging out, just BSing about kind of stuff, just as if you were sitting on your couch at home. And, oh, look at this. Mom's license plate number earns Maryland man a $50,000 lottery prize. A Maryland man uses his mom's license plate number regularly to play the lottery and ended up winning $50,000.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah, I don't play the
Did
lottery.
he split it with his mom?
I didn't say. I would hope that he would. Let's see if he did or not. So, let's see. Where is that? Oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, okay. A Maryland man who regularly uses his mother's license plate number to play the lottery ended up winning $50,000. Doesn't say that the man said his sister, who also frequently uses the same number, called him after seeing the results of the drawing. Mom's number came up. It didn't say if they were, oh, no, they're going to use the money. Okay, they're going to share it with his mom,
Good.
and the rest will go toward home improvements,
Cool.
that kind of thing, and boost their savings. That's a good thing. I can't imagine winning the lottery. I mean, I don't know. All of a sudden, I'd have relatives that I never even knew I had.
Yeah.
I would find my number somewhere.
Yeah.
Hey, man, what's going on? So,
Well, dude, that's just like living in Vegas. You know? Hey, John, we're going to be in town next week. Yeah. Oh, great. Yeah, call me
But
when you're ready to leave.
right. You can't win if you don't play.
Right.
But I don't like, it's funny now. I got friends that come into town and I see these, good friend of mine, I see him twice a year. The last time he came in July. You know, it's just hard to go out and meet your friends. And then you feel, even though he was cool with all that stuff.
Right.
Hey, it's okay. I didn't see, we'll see you next time around. After you've lived here, getting up, getting dressed, driving
We're not on
downtown,
vacation.
parking the fucking
have
car.
jobs and shit.
Right.
You know?
Got to park the car, pay the parking. Now that, speaking of that, free parking is over now on the Strip. The Palazzo and the Venetian ended theirs. So
even for residents?
I'm not sure if the resident. I think they giving you a player's card. I mean, I work over there a lot,
Yeah.
so I won't ever have to pay.
Right.
But it's just the general aspect of not being able to park your car. You have enough expenses. Now you have to shell out $30 a day now to park your vehicle in these casinos. There's some places that even if you're staying there at the hotel, that they still charge you for parking. They don't even give you that. You know, and that's what
I mean,
Vegas used to
that's
be
the
that.
ultimate greed. I mean, that's all it is anymore. It's
That's
just
what made-
fucking greed.
That's what made Vegas great, was the buffets and the free parking.
Yeah.
You know, everybody else, Miami, LA, New York, everybody charged for parking.
You get
Vegas,
your rooms comped, you get meals comped. If you were a player, yeah.
they used to know your name
Yeah.
when you sat down
Yeah.
at the table. Now you're just another number,
Yeah.
and you have to spend a certain amount now before. I don't even think they give comps out anymore.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no more sitting at the machine with $20 waiting for a cocktail. I think they still do that part
Oh, yeah,
of it.
you get free drinks.
But you know, it's just not like the way it used to be anymore. And in fact, what reminded me of this is, I've seen it before, but last night they had the anniversary of Ted Binion's death, and they had a documentary on it
Right.
on the news, regular. You know, it was a CNN or MSNBC. It was an actual news channel that delved into and a lot of people don't know who the Binion family was.
Horseshoe.
But they were as big as any rich, wealthy family in the United States. And Benny Binion himself, his past, they were all mob,
Yeah.
all of them. In fact, they were from Dallas, Texas. And I guess Benny had some issues in the 40s there, supposedly killed up to 3 different people himself. So he left and came out to the land of new dreams and
Yeah.
new start over. Came out here. They had an interview with one of the daughters that's still alive, Becky Bennon. She
Right.
was still alive. And I think Jack is still alive, but he lives back east somewhere now. The Binions is still there, but it has nothing to do with the family anymore. And they actually interviewed Rick Tabish and Sandy Murphy, the girl. Remember that story? Supposedly
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
killed him for the money and they
Yeah.
shot him up with heroin or it made him ingest heroin.
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking now when I saw this, I'm thinking, yeah, they would have been, I still think they had something to do with it. But now they're saying that in the days leading up to Ted Binion's death, that the mob, one of his best friends, Harvey Blitzstein, was found
Right.
shot to death, back of the head, typical mob style, that they were actually discussing murdering Ted Binion anyway. Because they wanted that, what was it? That $7 million of silver that was buried out in Pahrump. Yeah. So,
I think people are still looking for that shit.
right. Well, no, I think they found it. They arrested Rick Tabish for digging it up. Remember?
Yeah, but that was only part of it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it was.
Yeah.
Well, they said Ted Binion had this habit, old school. He liked to bury things
Yeah.
or hide stuff.
People included.
Right, that too. Right, but he would bury money and bury stuff around his house or hidden, that kind of thing. And man, he had $70 million in the bank when he died.
And
And
back then was a lot of money.
it's a lot of money now.
Yeah.
$70 million. It's only been gone. Well, when you look at 25 years, 1998.
Yeah.
Damn, it just seems like yesterday, but it's been 25 years. And $70 million is a lot today.
Yeah.
But now that's one thing that reminded me of old Las Vegas. I was fascinated with the old Vegas was started by the mob, and
Yeah.
because of them, today's the city is what it is. But all that's gone now, which is in a weird way kind of sad because the mob treated the locals really good.
Yeah.
As long as you stayed out of their business after midnight, you were good, or after
No
dark.
crime.
Yeah, none.
Yeah.
And the casinos didn't get ripped off. Well, they did, but then they would take care of them,
Yeah.
instantly. But and I've met a lot of folks that have lived here for a long time that are slowly going away now, dying off. But about all the great stories of this town, and now it's just another
It was an
big.
awesome place to live back in the 50s and 60s. Man.
So were you here? How long have you been here?
I first came here in 58.
Okay.
58.
Yeah.
I went to Fifth Street School.
Wow.
And I mean, Las Vegas Boulevard used to be Fifth Street.
Right. Oh, no shit. Really?
Yeah, I lived down on Fifth and Clark.
Okay.
Right
Down.
across
Right
well,
down.
Actually, on Clark between Fifth and Sixth, right across from the school.
Wow.
There was an Atlantic Richfield station, gas station on the corner there. There was a little strip center. There was the remember RC Cola
Yep.
and Knee High.
Yeah.
Their bottling company was right there, and then just a few doors down from that was a health food store called Snacks Fifth Avenue.
Snacks Fifth Avenue.
And up the other
How-
way, there was a little a malt shop.
Okay.
Called the White Bunny, going up towards Charleston,
Right.
just a few blocks up. So
It's
yeah,
not
it
the
was-
same town, man.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
I moved here in '88
Oh, yeah,
before the corporate just started to
Right.
sniff around. That was when the Mirage was just being built, and that's when old Vegas started to slip away.
Yeah.
And now that all these casinos they're all corporate. I don't think we have any single family.
Well, you got the station casinos.
Yeah, the
That's what
Fertitas are still around. Yeah. And even though they were here in the '70s, so
Yeah.
yeah, maybe they're the one the last.
Well, the Palace Station used to be the Bingo Palace.
I
that
got
was their first casino.
one of my first jobs was as a waiter as they were building the new tower at Palace Station,
Wow.
the first tower.
Yeah.
And the Bingo Palace, they had just changed the name a couple of years before that or
Yep.
something like that. Well, guys, we appreciate you guys hanging with us today. Got about 60 seconds left. Thanks again, Aaron, for letting me sit in with the show and guest hosting. I know that we ran up to a gamut of topics, just talking and hanging out like you're at home. That's all we do here. No set script, no set anything. So when I'm hosting, we just do improv radio, don't we, John?
Yeah.
Any subjects, no subjects are off limits. So we just kind of hang out and talk and everything. But I appreciate it, guys, for tuning in. I know it's not Aaron, but it is the mouth. So we appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us. I will see you guys back next Thursday on the round table. And I do believe Aaron will be back in town.
Yep.
And hopefully Rick will be back in town for the round table. But again, everybody, thanks again. And we appreciate it hanging out with us this Saturday afternoon. Have a good day. And don't do anything that I wouldn't do. which is a hell of a list.